viewers. Today we have with us Nicole Ashley from Canada. She's a celebrity and an international well renowned photographer. She's an influencer and she's also an ambassador for Canon. It's a pleasure to have you on my show, Talk with Tanya, Nicole.
Thank
And
you so much for having me.
you're most welcome. And today we're going to be discussing the future of influencer marketing. But before that, Nicole, why don't you tell our viewers about your childhood and your upbringing, so they get to know you uh, more up close?
Great. So I grew up in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada, and I had a great childhood. I went to university to be a teacher. And while I was teaching, I was also shooting on the side just for fun. I think a lot of people have interest in photography, but I never dreamed that it could be a full-time career. And because of social media, I started sharing my images on there, and people started noticing. And I actually booked my first job because a friend of a friend saw my work on Facebook, like even before Instagram. And it kind of snowballed from there and became my full time career.
Great. So, again, so you also had a beginning wherein, something led to, you becoming a creator. But if you can recall that, when was that first time when you decided that, you want to take up photography full time, and were your family supportive of it, and how did you go about the process?
I think my family and friends were nervous because photography or artistry in general is known to be kind of an oversaturated market. And I had just spent $30,000 on an education degree, which I paid for by myself. So my parents were nervous and a bit apprehensive, but again, because I paid for my own degree, they were like, if you want to try, we will support you. But I think that they weren't too happy with it. But as soon as I started getting some traction, and they could see that I could actually pay my bills with a camera, they were really happy for me. I definitely had a lot of support from my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband. We've been together for 15 years. And he was the one that really wanted me to make a go of it and supported me. And um, uh, in the sense of, like, he was also a teacher, supported me in the sense of telling me, quit your serving jobs, don't look for teaching jobs anymore, just take on photography. Even if it pays like nothing for 6 months, just keep shooting, promoting it, and working hard at it. So
Fantastic. So you did go ahead and choose a very unconventional career, which many people are very afraid of choosing. But the best part is that you're also extremely successful at it. There are so many photographers, but you've made a mark for yourself. So why don't you tell us about some of your most noteworthy works in the area? Who are these people who you worked with or you've done shoots for? I know you've done quite big shoots. And also, Nicole, what do you think resonates with audience about your photography? Because there are so many photographers, but what's
yeah.
different about you, and what do you think connects with your audience?
Um, so I think why people are drawn to my work is that the photographs come across very genuine and organic, not overly posed. Even though my work is very directive and I do pose clients, the goal is always to showcase who they are as a person. And I think you can really decipher if that is genuine in people's photographs or not. So a lot of that goes into making clients feel comfortable, understanding your camera properly so you can work quickly, and really trying to showcase all of those like little in between moments versus the pose, looking at a camera kind of moment. I think people like to, especially with social media, we're so used to kind of like getting a sneak peek at people's lives and like viewing them from a screen. And now most people are viewing other photographs through a screen. So it kind of lets you see like a sneak peek into someone's relationship when it doesn't look like a posed photograph, if that makes sense. So I think that has brought a lot of traction. But where I've really noticed that my career started really getting momentum is when I started incorporating my personal life along with my professional life and sharing both sides of that. And I think that's because people felt like they got to know me better and they got interested in where I was going, where I was traveling to, um, when I was growing a family. So, getting to show personal and mixing it with professional definitely helped propel my career for sure. And then to go back to the first part of your question, in terms of uh, a couple jobs or anything that kind of like really showcased the realm of, I guess, success in the career. I've had like so many amazing opportunities where I've done book covers, I've shot music festivals, I've worked with lots of magazines. I've traveled the world because of my camera, which is so amazing. I think it really hit me because where I am, uh, Australia is literally on the other side of the world. And I had a client fly me out there for their wedding. And that's when it like really hit me like, wow, like, people enjoy my work so much that they would take me across the world. So tons of amazing opportunities.
Wow, I think a lot of people watching this are gonna feel very envious because a lot of people, spend most of their lives being static at one locations and doing the same thing. The fact that you get to travel and you get to do what you love is great. And I think the insight that you shared is, I think, extremely pertinent, right? When you said that what really made your audience connect with you is your authenticity. So, a little sneak peek into your personal life and, blending it very beautifully with your professional lives. That's fantastic, Nicole.
Yeah.
I have a very generic question for you now, which is not to do with your life, but more in a very general worldly sense. Uh, Nowadays we're seeing these recent trends, where the platforms are banning certain people because of the kind of opinions that they're raising. Trump recently got banned on various social media platforms, and back here in India, TikTok has been banned. So it no longer
Yeah.
exists. Yes, it has been banned, so it's not there anymore. So as an influencer, do you often feel very insecure about the fact that you build such an audience at one platform, it may no longer be there or no longer be relevant in a couple of years? So how do you cope up with that? Do you feel at the behest of certain powers such as government, or whether it is the platforms? Things keep changing so rapidly. So
Mhm. I do think so. Where I'm lucky enough is that I've been working full time as an artist for almost 9 years. So the majority of my work actually comes from referrals. Um, don't get me wrong, I love social media, I love Instagram. Obviously that's where I'm most active. But majority of my clients are coming from referrals, so I do have that kind of safety net in that sense that even if I don't post for a long time or I'm not super engaging on there, I'm still booking work. But that being said, it's so important to diversify and to keep up with trends and whatnot. So I'm actually starting up a podcast. So I wanted to find another way to connect with um, people rather than just doing all these like little private mentorships, because I'm very invested with Canon and with the education world of photography. So I have been looking to different platforms where I can talk to people more candidly and give more help with education material. Um, but I obviously I think no one should put all of their eggs in one basket and think that it's super important just to grow on YouTube and YouTube alone, or on Instagram and Instagram alone. If you're trying to build a brand and trying to grow your business, I think you should entertain for sure at least two, if not several platforms, so that you can just make that net even bigger for people to view your work.
great. I think that's a fantastic tip for people watching, that you need to diversify and not put all your eggs in one basket. And that
Yeah.
leads me to the next question that I'm super curious about, is that how do you build loyal followership as an influencer, so that even if you change your platform, or you're somewhere else, but you carry your audience along with you? So how do you build that relationship with people and a loyal following?
So when I first started sharing my work, it was only about the work. Again, people didn't even know what I looked like, or I didn't talk on social media at all. Um, and then, like I had mentioned previously, where I really saw things start to propel is when I was sharing kind of behind the scenes of work, and then behind the scenes of my personal life mixed with professional as well. So I think a big reason why I would have a loyal following, which sounds so weird to say, is not only because of the work that I share, but being really candid, and showing that candor with the audience, and showing the behind the scenes of personal life mixed with the professional. And I've been very open about things that I've tried that didn't work, as well as things that have worked out great. And I've been very honest about certain struggles with work, with parenthood, with several areas of my life. So it's not just about liking pretty photos, it's about connecting with people and building a community, and also investing in them. um, I think where a lot of artists or content creators who um, where they go wrong is that they get into this and they just want to become like famous on a platform, and they're all about consumption. They want to consume likes, they want to consume views and all those positive reviews, but they spend no time investing into their community. So it's really important for me that people that comment on my photos, or that ask me questions, like I answer every single DM. I try to get back to every single comment. I go to their profiles, I ask them questions. um, I share free education. I'm not out there just to make a quick buck, or to get flattered by people. And I really think that people can tell when that's genuine or not.
Awesome. Yeah, you sure do respond to every DMs, because that's how my team reached out to you. And
Yeah.
are, you know, geographical boundaries no longer make sense, because I'm in India and we're 12 and a half hours apart. So I
Mhm.
think that's great. So yeah, I think what you said made a lot of sense about communication being two-way, and as influencers, not just wanting to put out content and being selfish about people just watching your content, but it's equally
Mhm.
important that you invest in them. So I think
Yeah.
that makes so much sense to me. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you have, I know you're in a partnership with Canon, and perhaps you may have had experience of working with other brands as well. So what I want to ask you is that have brand briefs really changed over a period of time, and what are the expectations that brands have of an influencer, and how do you really plan to evolve your content to be more futuristic?
Definitely, partnerships and collaborations with brands have changed in terms of what they are hoping to get out of it. Um, the market has definitely changed, that brands are now seeking more video content. Even Instagram is favoring reels and IGTV and stories over just a permanent post. So this is really important for content creators to know, that they shouldn't just rely on posting photos if they're a photographer, or any form of content creator, I guess. The world is really shifting into honoring and promoting video. So now when I have brands reach out to me, and I would send a rate sheet or anything that would explain like how we would collaborate or do deliverables, where I would just usually put like what I would do for an Instagram post or Instagram story. Now they want to know about making reels, about video. A lot of them are shifting back into wanting more of a focus on YouTube. I feel like YouTube was something that they really were interested in at first, and then it got super oversaturated, and they started honoring more so just like Instagram. But now I think with like TikTok or stories, reels, IGTV, People want to see video as well. So if you're a content creator, you're an artist, you're a poet, musician, photographer, I definitely highly recommend trying to expand in that realm, because that's what what brands are looking for.
Great. And for people who are not doing videos, maybe podcasts for them, you know.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, video is intimidating for me. I'm a photographer, so that means that for me, I know that that's the way the world is shifting. So then I have to outsource and hire a videographer or invest in education and learn more about video. But I think it's important to do so.
Great. Uh, from 5 to 10 years ago, maybe just 5 years ago, when Instagram and all were all about just photographs, and then then there was suddenly this upsurge of videos, and people started creating videos, and then the short form videos came. Now I like to say super short form videos have come. I don't know
Yeah,
how shorter can we go than 15 seconds.
no, it's so hard to scale it down into a short video. It's so hard.
I know. So what I always wonder is that what is the world going to look like after 10 years in the context of influencer marketing? So what do you think the future is going to be like? What are we going to be doing after 10 years?
Well, I think especially because I like right now, I'm not sure if you've heard of Clubhouse. It's a new app that came out. It's invite only kind of thing. It's starting to grow really quickly. I think people, especially because of COVID and restrictions and how the world is right now, people are really seeking to connect with other people in different ways. Instagram has become so polished that it doesn't seem authentic to people. So that's why I think TikTok really blew up. And because it was just it wasn't just honoring celebrities or content creators or influencers and showing these polished, perfect highlight reels of their life. TikTok came along and people were showing their everyday life, everything from like cooking to their house to how they made something, anything like that. And it was super inspiring because anyone could go viral. Um, and then and now Clubhouse has come along where it's all audio. So a lot of people are really enjoying Clubhouse because it's super easy to do. It's like podcasts, but you can join in, which is really amazing. And you can listen to scientists, politicians, artists, creators, anyone. You can learn about finance. So it's this really interesting new app that I've really been putting a lot of effort into recently because you don't need to worry about video. You don't need to worry about looking polished. It has that element of TikTok to it because you can just pick up and get into it, and you don't have to showcase any kind of polished content from it. And the beautiful thing about where TikTok and Clubhouse are is that they don't have this algorithm that's kind of ruined it yet, because eventually they will get bought by some tech company or by somebody, and it will get ruined and monetized because it just will. So they're kind of like these honest, like genuine apps that exist right now. So I think people are craving realness, and that's where certain people are thriving over others.
I think you beautifully put it. I'm going to definitely check out Clubhouse because I don't think it's that famous in India yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
but how
It's
things.
just taking off here too.
So maybe very soon it's going to get famous here too. But I
I
think
think
what
that's
you
the next big
shared,
thing.
yeah, so what you shared was great because I think people are craving authenticity and closeness and the community
Mm-hmm.
part of it, and world without filters, and seeing people
Yeah.
more up close and real. So that's what Nicole suggests, that get more real, get out of your filters and get out of your comfort zone and start building fantastic communities. And great. Yeah, another thing, now that you spoke about authenticity and everything, is that in general we all talk a lot about you know the whole image that media creates of women, or body shaming, or objectification,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a lot of times people have always seen these perfectly glam women, and that's how, or whether it's tall, fair, or skinny. But I think things are really changing now, but I think we're still a long way to go from there. So what's your opinion about that? How do we stop that? How do we end that?
Well, I think things have changed so much from even from when I was a teenager. Like I grew up with only super photoshopped, perfect magazines that would like be focused on like how to lose 10 pounds in 10 days and how to look this way. And I had no idea that these people were like photoshopped and that there was like hair and makeup and all these things too. And that particular like Kate Moss, like thin look was very honored. And now, again, because I think people are craving um, authenticity, that the world is exploding with, artists in every kind of form that are showing different body shapes. Different ethnicities are finally being like honored and showcased in like every platform possible. And it's such a better world to live in, and it's so much more real. And I do think that that is partly in because the world has opened up with social media, so many more people can connect and get more information and talk to other people, collaborate with other people all over the world. Like, look at us, I'm in Canada and you're in India, and we're having this conversation. Like, that's so cool that one message sparked that. But yeah, I think as the world finds easier ways to connect, the world wants more realness. And you're going to see that now in music, in photographs, in video, and in every area. Look at even the United States. Um, they've been kind of a mess for the last few years, but in the last few days, look at Joe Biden and his entire cabinet. Like, that's incredible seeing the changes that are happening there. I
Yes.
think everyone's craving it.
Great. Fantastic. So, Nicole, I'm of a ardent belief that one message can change a life. Sometimes we say things to somebody and we don't even know the kind of impact that message can have on other people. So, in the end, I want you to just share your thoughts and your advice with people who want to be content creators, who want to be influencers, but are really, really bogged down by so much competition, pressure of algorithms, pressure of looking perfect, pressure of creating great content without all the expensive logistics. So if you want to tell people how should they start their journey, what do you have to say to them?
My biggest piece of advice is to not try to be anything you are not. Um, People will pick up if you are being authentic and sharing your true self. And if you're out there just to get numbers, or if you're out there actually to connect and to build a community with people. Um, I really think too many creatives and artists get caught up in numbers and get caught up in stats. Um, and I think it can be really hard for people if they put a lot of time, effort, and love into a project, whether that's music, photographs, video, and put it out to the world and it's not received well. But it's so important for people to remember that any of these apps are kind of designed to work against you because they want to make money off you, and they want you to keep being active, or they want you to pay for ads to get more traction. So it's so important to remember that the work that you put out there is not reflective of your worth in terms of what you get back from those social platforms. So if you don't get a lot of likes, if the stats don't reflect well, don't beat yourself up about it, and just keep putting out stuff there that you love and try sharing it on several platforms. Really, really try not to let algorithms, stats, numbers, likes, or the feedback you get from what's designed in these apps to eat away at your creativity or to eat away at your self-worth.
Thanks. And I'd like to add just one thing to it is that I think it's so important to also be patient. Patient and be
Yes.
perseverant because things take time. You have to really, really have that kind of uh, the strength or the stamina to be able to stick around and
Yeah.
not get disappointed, because you also said in the beginning, right, you were ready to do nothing for 6 months and just put give and let
And I
people
worked like
appreciate
I,
it.
for years, right? Like 7 days a week, working really hard. It takes time, but I think there's a big difference in people who want something badly, and then versus the people who are willing to do something about it. So if you're willing to work hard at it, you can make it happen.
Fantastic. Looking forward to seeing you onwards and upwards, and uh, touching many more milestones. Nicole, it was a great pleasure to interact with you. You were so candid, and it was just a very fun conversation, easygoing conversation. I learned so much, and I'm sure everybody who is watching this has also got some great tips and insights from you. uh, it's been a pleasure to have
Thank
you
you
on
so
my
much
show.
for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel for more such content, and let me know in comments if you have any message for any of us and who next would you like to see on my show. Until then, keep tuning in to Talk with Tanya. Shukriya.